Okay guys, I've got my Boxster 986. I want to access the engine panel behind here because I want to check on my water pump to see if it's okay. I've just recently bought this car. It's a 3.2 Sport automatic, and I've looked through, it's got a very good service history, lots of bills, but I cannot see a receipt for a water pump. It's not making any noise or anything like that, but I will be able to visually look at the water pump, also get a chance to check the belts by accessing the panel that is behind this carpet. And there's a quick way to do this without dismantling too much or even putting the roof into service mode. This is a 2001 car, by the way. So quickly, this is the first time I'm doing this, so you're going to learn with me. I've already pulled this out, so you've got the carpet, which is kind of attached at the top, and it tucks in behind this little glove box here. So literally from pulling from the bottom, release it from behind the glove box, and then what we're going to do, what I'm going to do, is carefully lift the whole thing up so we can get to this. And to keep that up, I've just got a piece of wood. So I've got a little bit of battening which I had spare in the garage, just to hold that up, because then you've got these 10mm bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2 there, I think. So I've just got a 10mm socket, which is already on one, and I'll get those off. Okay, so I've just got a little ratchet socket there with an extension and a 10mm socket on it. This one's already loose, I loosened that one already. So we're just going to go around, take all these off. This one's a bit stiffer. Okay, let's get those off. So as I'm taking those off, I'm just popping them here in this little handy cubby hole by the door frame. Don't know if I mentioned, you need to pull the seats as far forward as you can with the lever under there, and then mine are electric, so move them as far forward to give you as much room as possible behind here. So now I'm on these two 10mm bolts which have a thread coming through them, so they're slightly different, but they seem to be coming off. They're different to these nutted ones. So those two nuts just come off of those threads with the bolts which are poking through, which help locate the panel as well. All the nuts and bolts are off, so I will now attempt to pull the panel off itself. Just taking it easy, it's got a bit of kind of stickiness to it. Make sure I have got all the nuts off. Just knocked over the spanner. And there we go. And now we have access to everything. So let's have a look in here. So this is the first time I've looked inside here. I wanted to generally get a look at the belts and at first glance, sorry about that, they look in quite good shape. I need to get my head in there to have a look at the water pump, which looks quite shiny. I might be lucky that that's a new water pump. I couldn't find a receipt for it. Let me get my head in and have a look. Well, this is good news for me. I went through all of the service history, and it's got a lot. All the receipts, I put them in date order, and I couldn't find any record of a new water pump. But it looks like it's been done pretty recently. As that's it there, and as you can see, it looks quite shiny and new, and the belts all look in good condition. So that was me. It's taking me 10 minutes to get this panel off and check the serpentine belt, the water pump. Can't see any leaks or anything around there, so that's great news for this Boxster anyway. So to put that panel on, just go into reverse, just pop the panel back, pop the bolts back on, then we want to tuck the carpet back in. Okay, so I've finished having a look. Everything looks a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not even sure if that wheel in the middle is new. It looks very clean. But that is good news, because that's something that goes fairly often on these, is a water pump. Now, I don't know whether they've got a metal bladed water pump on here or not, because Pierberg is the best one that has the plastic impellers, and they're better. If they do start to break down, they're not going to cause so much damage. The metal bladed ones, if the impellers break down, they can, because they're very close to the head, they can eat away at that and then send bits of metal elsewhere, causing damage. So from what I've read, the plastic ones are a lot better, but the metal ones are cheaper, so it could be a metal one on there. Even so, it looks pretty new. I don't do many miles. It will probably last quite a long time. We'll have to keep an eye on it. If I hear any diesel rattle type sounds, then that could be the water pump on its way out, or if I'm losing coolant. My coolant was slightly low. I topped it up. It hasn't moved since, so that might have just been from where I bought it. I don't know. I'm going to have to keep an eye on it. So there's the plate back. So I'll just put the 10mm nuts and bolts back. Actually, I don't think you need to bother about doing cross nuts. You can if you want, but they don't. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. You're not putting. You're just hand tight, plus a little bit more really on these, just to keep the engine noise out of the cabin. And this is a little bit of a different video to what I usually do. You guys probably know me. I do watch videos, and I was wearing my Pagani GMT. One where I modded out the Pepsi bezel, which was Ali, to this ceramic bezel I've got off AliExpress for about £5. That's my trusty watch. I wear that all the time. Fantastic watch. Totally recommend the Pagani PD 1692 or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, so don't worry, I'm not going to do loads of car stuff. It's going to be a watch channel. But I bought this Boxster for a good price, so it's going to need a little bit of fettling here and there. I've got a new ignition switch coming for it, so that'll be the next job that I do, because the airbag light likes to come on, and I know by tapping above here the airbag light goes off. Also the radio was going off as well, and when I tap on there, which is shaking basically the ignition switch, which can be a problem on these, the airbag light will go off and the radio would come on. So I'm pretty certain that is the issue. For about £8 I've got an ignition switch coming, which is, you go under there to do it. I might film that. It's going to be very, very awkward. So I've nearly got this panel back on. I'm just going to finish tightening up those last couple of nuts. What the heck? So that's all buttoned up. Let's remove my prop. And then we're folding back the carpet down and basically just pushing it back as it was. Most tricky bit would be getting it back round here. Well, not tricky, just got to, as you can see, that just tucks in round there. And then the rest of it, do you know, I can't quite remember. I think it just, okay, looking at this little faded seam here, I think that tucks underneath there, which is hard to do with one hand. Let me have a look. So I needed two hands to do that, but very, very quickly it just tucks in underneath. So that's that side, just need to do the other side. Okay, it's all tucked in. You just got to make sure. Where's my hand gone? There it is. Oh well, look at the wrong bit. Yeah, you've got to make sure that's pushed in all the way around like that and tucked in around that box there. And then all you've got to do is put your seats back. Yeah, so just put the seats back. And just as a side note, these wind deflectors, those honeycomb things that slot into the hoops, guess how much they are, right? So if you have a look on eBay for Porsche Boxster 986 wind deflectors, just see how much they are, and then you'll know why I've got them cable tied in. I lost this one when I bought the car. This was a bit broken, and I thought, no problem, I'll take it out and I'll super glue it. And I was literally driving back from my father's, and I looked out the back mirror. I thought, what's that going down the road on the motorway? And it was it just blown out because I had the roof down. And I thought, oh, not a big deal, probably pick up one of those for 10 quid on eBay, right? Yeah, think again. Anything to do with this wind deflecting stuff is very expensive. That middle clear plastic section is very expensive. I don't know the exact price, but these wind deflectors here, the honeycomb ones, brand new, I think they're about £250 each. Yeah, you heard me right, each, for that piece of plastic. Yeah, there are used ones on there, so don't panic, but you will be paying £60 to £70 for a new one, which is what, sorry, a used one, which is what I paid for this. Would it be legal to print one of those? You know, like this 3D printing stuff you can do nowadays. Don't know. I'm sure that's something you could get printed, but is that legal or not? I got no idea. But I didn't do that, I just bought one. I can't believe it would be that difficult to get one 3D printed. Okay, so there you go, that's my cheap Porsche 3.2 Sport. We've got a few things to sort out on it, but it's running really well.